Okay, so get ready, because today we're diving into a world of psychological suspense.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fun. I like it.
It's Holly Jackson's The Reappearance of Rachel Price.
Okay.
And this book, I gotta say, kept me up late.
Oh,
I was
really?
flipping pages. I just had to know what was going to happen next.
I hear that.
It's one of those books that makes you question, like, everything and everyone,
Yeah, those are always good.
you know?
Yeah, and I think what makes this one so gripping is that it really plays on those fears that I think we all have about family and memory
Right.
and secrets.
Especially the secrets we keep.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one thing to think about, someone that you love vanishing, but then to have them come back
Right.
after 16 years,
16 years as a stranger.
they're like unsettling on a whole new level.
It's unsettling. And that's exactly what happens to Belle, who is our main character.
Right.
So imagine being a baby when your mother disappears.
Right.
And you grow up with this image of her in your head.
Yeah.
This kind of idealized version.
An idealized version, yeah.
And then all of a sudden she reappears.
Yeah.
And she brings with her all of these unsettling questions and actually unsettling behavior.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think Jackson does such a good job of really putting us right into Belle's shoes. Like, we get to experience that shock and the confusion and, even that growing suspicion that Belle feels.
Oh, for sure. And it's warranted.
Right.
Because the Rachel who comes back
Yeah.
is not the mother that Belle has been, longing for all these years.
Exactly.
She's different. She's changed.
Yeah.
And you just get this feeling that she's not telling the whole truth about what happened.
Right. Like something's off.
Yeah, something's off.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Remember, Belle's father, Charlie, was a suspect
Oh, yeah.
in Rachel's disappearance.
Right.
So you have this tension,
Mm-hmm.
this underlying tension, this distrust
Right.
that's already there.
Yeah.
Because their relationship is already strained.
Right.
And then this happens.
Exactly.
Can you imagine?
It's a powder keg.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
And that's what we get to see unfold.
And I love how Jackson uses this unreliable narrator trope.
Oh, it's done so well.
Right.
It really makes you question not just Rachel's story,
Right.
but all of the memories and motives of everyone else involved.
Of everyone around her.
Yeah, like, can we trust anyone?
No. And then on top of all of that, there's all these layers to the story.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's this children's book, The
Yeah.
Memory Thief.
The Memory Thief.
It holds this special significance for Belle and her grandfather.
Right.
And it's almost as if the book itself contains hidden messages from Rachel about what happened to her.
It's so interesting how she does that.
Yeah.
It makes you think about how we connect meaning to, everyday objects.
Right.
Like, especially in times of trauma and loss.
Exactly.
And so this book becomes a symbol of, like, hope and manipulation at the same time.
Right.
It's both, scary and comforting, I think, for Belle. Because it's a link to the past, but it also might be manipulating her.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then there's the logging yard.
Oh, yeah.
This place straight out of Belle's childhood memories.
Right.
And it played a big part in the whole mystery.
Right.
And it's abandoned and it's desolate.
Oh, it sounds creepy.
It's so creepy.
Yeah.
And it just, it holds these secrets that could change everything.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the way she describes it, the logging yard, it becomes like a character in itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost a physical representation of the family's history.
Yeah.
And the secrets that they've tried to bury,
Right.
And it's so vivid,
Yes.
you can practically feel the weight of the past.
Yeah.
When Belle is, like, going back to this unsettling place.
Yeah, it's like the setting itself is giving her warnings. Like,
Right.
don't go here.
Don't come back.
Yeah. Bad things happen here.
Yeah.
And then we've got Belle's grandfather.
Right?
His health is declining. And it brings this whole other layer of intrigue.
Yeah.
Because he starts sharing these fragmented memories
Uh-huh.
and these little glimpses into the past
Right.
that hint at something much darker.
Yeah.
About Rachel's disappearance.
It's so frustrating for Belle, though.
Oh, for sure.
Because she just wants answers.
He wants answers.
But his memory is so fragmented. It's
Yeah.
like a puzzle box, and there's just pieces missing.
Right.
It just makes you wonder, like, is this real, or is this just his memory?
Yeah.
Being distorted by time and
Yeah.
illness. It's like another unreliable narrator.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's unreliable, for sure. And just when you think you're starting to understand what happened,
Oh, God.
Jackson throws in a curveball
Right.
that just completely upends everything you thought you knew.
Oh, man.
Like the revelation about Charlie's infidelity.
Oh, that's a good one.
That just throws a wrench in the whole narrative.
Yeah, it just makes you realize that even the people we think we're close to
Right.
can have these secrets.
Capable of anything.
Right. Yeah. It's scary to think about, but
Yeah. And it makes you realize that everyone has hidden depths.
yeah.
And sometimes those depths are way more disturbing than we could ever imagine.
Than we want to imagine.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's like Jackson is peeling back the layers of this, this seemingly normal family.
Right.
And then it's like, oh my gosh.
All this darkness lurking underneath.
Yeah, there's darkness under
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Gosh.
There's so much more to uncover. So many twists and turns.
I know, it sounds good.
You will be speechless.
I bet.
And the reappearance of Rachel Price isn't just a thrilling read. It's
Oh, there's more.
there's more.
Okay.
It makes you think about memory and trust
Right.
and the nature of truth.
What is truth?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder,
It makes you wonder.
how well do we really know the people we love?
Yeah.
And how much does our past
Right.
shape who we become?
Big questions.
Big questions.
Yeah, I like it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it really makes you think about like what happens when those things that we think are like the foundation of our reality start to crumble.
Right.
The people you thought you could trust.
Exactly.
Now they're, shrouded in doubt.
Right, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
is anybody who they say they are?
Right.
And that sense of unease just intensifies
Mm-hmm.
as the story goes on.
For sure. Yeah.
We see Belle trying to piece together the truth
Right.
from all these conflicting memories and
Yeah.
half-truths and lies.
Yeah.
And she even starts doing a little amateur sleuthing,
Oh, really?
which I love.
Yeah.
I love when characters do that
It's so fun.
because she's determined
Yeah.
to figure out what really happened to her mother.
Right.
And, her investigation leads her down some pretty dark paths.
Oh, I bet.
Like, there's this one scene
Okay.
where she teams up with a member of the documentary film crew.
Wait, what?
I know.
That's bold.
It's so bold.
Yeah.
They're filming Rachel's return, and she enlists this guy to help her.
Oh, wow.
And they end up at the local mall
Okay.
trying to track down this potential witness.
I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
It's like a true crime documentary.
Right.
But what I find so interesting is like
Yeah.
Belle's sleuthing is about more than just finding answers.
Okay.
It's also about her coming of age.
Yeah.
She's testing boundaries. She's defying her father.
Mm-hmm.
She's learning to trust her instincts.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's like this personal growth
It
happening alongside the mystery.
it's totally personal growth.
I like that.
And it's like the mystery of her mother's disappearance becomes this catalyst for her own self-discovery.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's forced to confront not only the secrets of her family, but like,
Right.
where does she fit in?
Yeah. Where does she belong?
In all of this.
With all this craziness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, all of these relationships are so messy. You've got the strained dynamic between Belle and her father.
Right.
You've got this kind of presence of the grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Carter,
Oh, yeah. Carter.
Belle's cousin,
Right.
who kind of adds another layer of complexity.
Okay. Yeah. What's his deal?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's both a confidant and a potential suspect.
Oh, so we don't know if we can trust him either.
No.
So,
And his relationship with Rachel.
yeah.
Well, let's just say it raises more questions than it answers.
Oh, very suspicious.
Very suspicious, yeah. And one of the things that kept me hooked
Yeah.
was this constant paranoia
Oh, yeah.
that Jackson creates.
Oh, I love that. And a thriller.
You never know who to believe. Who's hiding something?
Yeah, who's lying?
What's going to happen next?
Yeah, it's like you said, that feeling of unease just like intensifies throughout the book.
It does.
And it's like amplified even more because Belle is such a relatable character.
Yeah.
She's not like this, experienced detective or anything.
She's just a teenager.
She's a kid
Yeah.
thrown into this situation.
That is way over her head.
Way over her head. Yeah.
Yeah, and she makes mistakes.
Right?
She follows false leads.
Yeah.
She's constantly second-guessing herself.
That makes him human.
But that's what makes her so compelling,
Right.
because she's flawed and she's vulnerable.
Mm.
And yet she's so determined to figure it out.
Yeah, you can't help but root for her.
You want her to figure it out.
Yeah.
You want her to be safe.
Exactly.
But you're scared for her.
Yes, because as we know, things are going to get twisted.
They get twisted.
Yeah.
And I love how Jackson's not afraid
Yeah.
to go there,
So we go there.
to explore like the darker aspects of human nature.
All right.
There's manipulation.
Oh, yeah.
There's gaslighting.
Uh-huh.
And this pervasive sense that no one is who they seem.
Yeah, and that's where it gets really interesting
Yeah.
because it makes you challenge your own assumptions about like family and loyalty
For sure.
and forgiveness.
And what are you willing to forgive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how much can you forgive
Exactly.
in the name of family?
Right. And take Charlie.
Okay.
Example.
Yeah.
He's this grieving father
Right.
who was wrongly accused,
Right.
but he's capable of deception and infidelity.
Right. So he's not perfect.
He's not perfect.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, how well can we ever truly know someone?
Right. Even the people we love.
Even the people we love the most.
Yeah, unconditionally.
Right. And then there's Rachel.
Okay.
She's a victim, but she's also manipulative and vengeful.
Okay, so she's complicated.
Oh, she's complicated.
Yeah.
But it makes her so much more interesting.
Right, because she's not just this like
Right.
perfect victim.
She's a human.
She's real.
Yeah. And Jackson isn't afraid to portray her flaws.
Right.
And it just makes you think, there's good and bad
Yeah.
in all of us.
In all of us.
And sometimes that line is blurry.
it can be really
It
blurry.
can be super blurry.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this book so powerful, because it forces you to confront those truths
Mm.
about ourselves and about the people around us.
Right. Like no one is all good or all bad.
Right. And it leaves you questioning everything
It does.
about the people that are closest to you.
the people you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a book that stays with you.
It does.
It makes you think about the secrets we keep,
Right.
the stories we tell ourselves,
Yeah.
and the lengths we go to protect the people that we love.
And sometimes those links are pretty terrifying.
Oh, they can be.
Yeah.
There are some twists and turns in this book
Oh, I bet.
that will leave you gasping for air.
Oh, I love that.
Like literally, I had to put the book down
Really?
and just walk around
Yeah.
because I couldn't believe what I was reading.
I can't wait.
It's so good.
I know, I'm excited now. It really does make you think, like, how much do we depend on memory and trust in our relationships?
Yeah,
What happens when that gets shaken up?
I know. It's a scary thought.
It is. And I like that this book doesn't give us, like, the easy answers. It
Yeah.
leaves us with these questions
Yeah.
about, can we forgive this?
Right.
Can we move on after this betrayal?
How do we even define truth anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely not a light read,
No,
but it's so well written
it is.
that you can't put it down.
I bet.
You just have to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you have to know who to trust.
Who can Belle trust?
Right.
What really happened to Rachel?
Exactly.
And those questions just keep you going.
They keep you turning the pages.
Yeah.
Even when you're like, I don't know if I can trust anyone.
I don't trust anybody anymore.
Right. Because no one's innocent.
No one's innocent.
Everyone's got secrets.
Everyone has secrets. Everyone's made mistakes.
Right.
Everyone's kind of complicit in this whole thing.
Right.
You know?
It's like this whole web of lies
It's a web of lies.
surrounding her reappearance.
Yes, and Jackson is really showing us that darkness can lurk anywhere.
Yeah.
Even in like the most normal seeming families.
Right.
You know?
Like we said earlier, that darkness underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can really impact everyone
Who can impact everyone.
involved,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's really interesting how she explores this idea
Uh-huh.
that sometimes the people we hurt the most are the ones that we love the most.
Right.
You know, it could be intentional.
Right.
It could be unintentional.
It could be an accident.
Yeah.
But our actions have these ripple effects.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about the responsibility that we all have
Yeah.
to be mindful of how we impact other people.
Especially the people we love.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you're right. Those wounds cuts the deepest.
They do.
Yeah.
And, they can take a long time to heal.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about this book is that it doesn't offer a simple solution.
It's not tied up in a bow.
It's not.
Yeah.
It really leaves us with this idea
Yeah.
that healing is a process.
It's a journey.
It's a journey, and it's not linear.
No, it's messy.
It's messy. There are setbacks.
There
Are there moments of doubt? And, sometimes those scars just never fade.
No, they don't.
But, it's realistic.
It is realistic.
It shows us, the aftermath
Yeah.
of this trauma,
Yeah.
the pain, the anger, the confusion.
It's all there.
But it also shows us that there is hope
There is.
for healing, for moving forward,
Right.
even if you have to redefine what family means to you.
Right. Or forgiveness.
Or forgiveness.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's really the power of this book.
I agree.
It reminds us that even when things are really bad,
Yeah.
even when we experience this betrayal,
Uh-huh.
there's still that spark of resilience.
That strength
The
inside
strength of that.
that gets us through.
Exactly, and helps us to navigate those really complex issues
Right.
of, truth and memory and the bonds of family.
Yeah. So to our listeners out there,
Yeah.
if you want a book that's going to keep you up all night.
If you want to be kept on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And make you question everything you thought you knew.
Question everything.
About family and trust.
Then this is the book for you.
The Appearance of Rachel Price is the book for you.
But be prepared for a wild ride.
It is a wild ride.
It's a roller coaster
Yeah.
of emotions. You're going to be breathless.
Bewildered. Yeah.
But ultimately, I think, really moved by this story.
Deeply moved.
Yeah.
It's a haunting and thought-provoking,
Absolute.
unforgettable read.
It is.
And that's it for this deep dive.
That's it.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
We'll see you next time.